Welcome to Makers International, a podcast of makers from 3 countries, 2 continents, and featuring 5 guys separated only by the same language. Here's your host, Richard Morley.
Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, good times, whatever time it is and wherever you are listening. Joining me this evening, Mr. Chris Cute.
How's it going?
And Mr. Joe Whitaker.
You're right, Sam, yeah.
And Jamie Page.
Well, hello.
We also have some rather interesting and rather special, and I don't mean in that sense, guests with us this evening. We have Chad from ManCrafting.
Hello, everyone.
Pam from Highland Boxes.
Hey, everybody.
And this good-looking chap sitting right next to me here, Glyn from Yorkshire Grit.
Hello, everybody.
So kind of at this point in time, I normally turn around and say, you guys just have a few moments to compose yourselves and we'll go on and do the kind of usual thank yous, shout outs and all that sort of stuff. But I have a feeling that it's all going to sort of blend into hopefully something that will pass as a show for Joe to edit at the end. But very, very quickly, we have just a few shout outs from last week's show, and that is Jim Dockrell, Soph from Make It Soph, and Dirk over at Sumo's Projects. And Jamie / Joe / both, don't we have quite a few people in the... I haven't got the live chat on show today for various reasons. So is there anyone in the live chat?
Yeah, there's a few people over in the live chat. I'll try and do this how Richard does, because he normally does this every week. There's David Woodbarber, Temple Boy Turnings, Wayne Woodturner, Anna's Workshop, Tracy Keaton, Steve from Highland Media, The Woodgeneer, Strawbite Workshop, Highland Boxes. Pam, what are you doing over the over in the live chat? You're supposed to be over here. Average Joe's joining. Average Joe, what are you doing over there? You're supposed to be in there over there.
Jamie, you're giving away all our secrets as to how we think to get so many viewers.
Wait. We have somebody who I haven't seen before, Jamie. Gib Clark is with us today. Gib, how are you, brother?
How are you?
Claire from Making It Out of the Woods.
Yep.
So loads of people.
It's going by so fast, I just can't keep up.
I can never keep up.
That's Rich. That's Jamie's impersonation of Richard. So go ahead, Richard. Take it from there.
As always, this evening's podcast, and a rather special one as well, is brought to you in part by Yorkshire Grit, Woodturner's Abrasive Paste, our good friend Chad over at ManCrafting, and also Pam from Highland Boxes, because not only is they here with us tonight in it, but they're also supporting each of our shows. And this is our kind of give back to them for giving back to us to be able to give back to you, the listener. If you can work that out, then I'm confused. I'm totally lost now. Anyway, if you do want to find out more about these people, then you can find out more on our website, makersinternationalpodcast.com/sponsors. Yes, Jamie, not to be confused with Makers International, blah, 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 blah. So, Chris, do we have any random listener questions? Because I'm just about out of energy now. That's me done.
You know what? I'm gonna have to. No, Richard, I didn't have time today to gather any questions that we have, and I'm sure we had some. And for those of you who may have put your input in for this week, I do apologize. I was so busy trying to coordinate you guys this week, I never had a chance to coordinate myself. So. No, I don't really have any random listener questions, but I could probably think of one real quick if you'd like.
Absolutely, yeah. Why not?
Okay, Chad. The question is directed at you. Would a resin-casted mug turned on a lathe, finished with Yorkshire Grit, end up looking good?
I bet it would look amazing.
There you go. See, there you go. So Pam.
I bet it would look amazing.
We could
even laser etch it.
There you go. See, I just tried to tie everybody into the same question. All right. So, yeah, the answer is awesome. Cool. Yeah. And no, Richard, I really don't have anything to kick this conversation off with. So we just probably should just jump into the conversation and maybe turn it over to the community over in the chat to find out what they want to know about these 3 awesome people, because we have them gathered here tonight because not only do they supported us, and are they now just supporting us, but they're the people that allow us to give our audience things. I mean, we don't, in the traditional sense, we don't have sponsors, meaning that we don't go out and shop for people that are going to give us money that we can put in our own banks. What we have done is gone out in the community and found generous people like Chad, like Pam, like Glyn from Yorkshire Grit that would be willing to support the podcast by simply giving us something that we can turn around to give to the people who listen to us. That is our idea of sponsor. Okay, that's why they qualify as sponsors for this podcast. They don't pay us, and they're not paying us to be on today. We just happen to love these people, and they apparently like us a little bit too, because they're happy to get out there. So it's a win-win for everybody. It's a win-win-win. Actually, they win because they get, the publicity on the podcast. We win because we get to give people something, and you win because you get to receive it. So that's why we're doing the show today. So if anybody has any questions out there in the chat that would like to ask Chad, Pam, or Glyn any questions about the products they have or what we plan on doing with them, then feel free to knock them out. So that's all I have to offer as far as that goes. And I hope I killed enough time with that and me continually talking to make up for the time I didn't have for the lack of a random listener question.
There is a couple of questions actually already in the chat. Tracy's asking about if there's any other stops on the road trip that's going to be taped, which I think is a pretty quick and simple answer to that one.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Well, very, very quickly, because this is not a road trip show, and the last thing I'm going to do is get on our sponsors and then hog their space, because this is about them and not the road trip.
No, you're fine.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, see, the only reason Glyn's here is because we're currently on a family vacation quite close to where Glyn's facility is for Yorkshire Grit, and we basically kind of duped you into coming with barbecue.
He offered to ply me with alcohol, so I'm here.
Yes, there will be more trips, more stops. There will be videos. It just happens that this is a Sunday night. Glyn's here. Glyn's on, and that's why it's as it is. But yeah,
right.
In other words, you guys have had an awesome day so far, and we're just getting the back end of it. Is what you're trying to tell us?
Yeah, we're pretty much K-line.
Any of the overseas listeners, that's paralytic, otherwise known as drunk.
Yeah.
and I'm only drinking little ones as well, because I don't drink much. We're all sleeping, I think.
Well, I didn't drink much.
Oh my God!
What's left of the bottle?
Full bottle, 2 of them.
I'll be right back.
Normally it's Chris getting slated by the viewers about drinking.
I feel like I've been left out of the party.
No, you know what, Chad, and I think that it. And I don't want to go off rambling again just to kill time like I did earlier, but I do want to say that Chad, I believe, and Jamie will correct me if I'm wrong, but I think, Chad, you were the first person to jump on and actually support us as a podcast by offering up your mugs. And so I think it's time that we personally say thank you for that, because we do appreciate it. And I know there's been a number of people that have received your product because of the podcast and your generosity once again. So thank you for that very much. I mean, because I can tell you right now, the mug that you sent me, it looked awesome, but I never got a chance to use it because my wife felt the same exact way. And
your wife loves it.
She absolutely loves that mug, and I keep trying to get it back from her, but honestly, to this day, Chad, I have yet to use that mug because my wife, she's like the kid. Mine. She won't give it up. So first of all, thank you. And second of all, God, I'm frustrated. I'm sorry. I'll be in touch and order one from you real soon. How's that?
Sounds good.
They're amazing. I use mine literally every single day without fail. I think I should have washed it by now, but it really works really well.
Stainless steel.
That's it. Self-cleaning.
Nothing grows on it.
It kind of puts us in a very happy and unique position, in so much as there are podcasts, and not just in our kind of genre, but across the podcast title, that have sponsors in the sort of traditional sense, and they do sales pitchy and advertising spots and this, that, and the other. But I think we're lucky, or I know we're lucky in so much as not only do we have good people doing good things with their products, whether it be Yorkshire Grit, the mugs, or Pam's hybrid blanks, but we know the people as well, and there's a much more personal connection than like the sort of the traditional sense where the kind of the corporate end of the thing, and I think that's just insane in such a nice way. I don't know if everyone else would agree with that, or hopefully you would.
Oh, no, absolutely. I would agree with that. I mean, I don't know if the general public would agree with that, but I mean, being part of this podcast, I certainly agree with that, because I think it friggin' rocks. And Jamie has been, and I got to be honest with you, if we're going to turn the spotlight on anybody tonight besides the people that support us, I mean, Jamie is the one who has coordinated all these people to get involved with us. So, Jamie, you should probably open your mouth at some point today and say something and make me stop talking. And make me stop talking.
Well, I don't know what to say. Yeah, I guess so. I guess it's because everyone loves me, and they just can't say no to me.
Oh, okay. Well, we've heard enough from Jamie already. Jesus God, Jamie. No, honestly, Jamie, maybe it's worth talking about how we got Chad on, how we got Glyn on, how we got Pam on, because these people, and Pam, I don't want to leave you out of this whole conversation because you haven't said a word yet either, and I don't mind to put you on the pressure. But I just got the pen blank that Pam sent me, and this thing is awesome. I mean, it really is a quality pen blank, and I can't wait to turn this, Pam. So I can't thank you enough for this. But these are the items that they turn us on to turn. To in turn give to you. I mean, I just think that's great.
Yeah, they're beautiful blanks. I don't know. It's. I guess I'll just kindly approach people if they want to just donate a couple of things to the podcast for a little bit of advertising. That's exactly what I did with Pam. And
It's not
Pam
what you did with
just.
me.
No, you jumped down my throat and said, "Take this, you're having it."
Shh.
But yeah, I kind of kindly approached Pam and said, "Did you fancy donating a couple of things to the podcast and where promote you for a little bit?" And she basically wanted to give far too much, so I just kind of talk her down a bit until we kind of met some sort of agreement where she weren't going to be bankrupt. And so yeah, we come to an agreement, and yeah, she's an official sponsor now, or supporter is a better word.
I think a lot of it's been a lot easier because of Maker Central last year, because we did all meet though. So it is reaching people.
Yeah,
that should have made it harder.
Well, I was going to say exactly the same thing, actually, Chad. You think people would be like, "Whoa, no, I'm not taking the call from that one."
Thanks, Chad. I guess Chad's saying that we didn't leave the best impression.
Well, after that live show from the hotel, I don't know who'd want a product associated with that one. I know if I was sponsoring, that'd be like on the phone, cut this, gone off.
Yeah, unless they were actually at the hotel watching.
Oh my gosh! Oh, that was worse. You couldn't even hear it.
You didn't need to hear it.
Well, you know what, Chad? Here's the truth to that. Nobody ever heard that podcast because the visual,
couldn't hear it.
Yeah, the visual was there, but the audio just never managed to make it out of that. Whatever. Anyway, I'm tired of reliving that. God, Chad,
we should have paid for the upgraded Wi-Fi.
Yeah, we should have, but we didn't. So I guess
we'll see if we can get a sponsor on that next year.
Yeah, we'll get
the Hilton to sponsor us.
Yeah.
Give away rooms.
One thing I was going to add, just while Chad's sort of kind of in the spotlight a bit, was you you really threw me. If anyone goes, actually, I don't know if anyone really listens to episodes, but I remember when we had you on as a spotlight, Chad, and you really took me by surprise when you said, you know, I want to give away a mug. And then you said, I want to give away a mug with this frequency until you stopped doing the podcast. And I seem to remember going, you what? Just because I was completely unaware that I was genuinely taken aback with your generosity, because having seen those mugs, it was like a wow, absolute wow. And it kind of made me feel a little bit warm and fuzzy inside, if that makes sense.
Well, thank you.
I mean, I guess
that was my goal. I was like, if I can just make Richard feel
fuzzy.
Warm and fuzzy.
Can I just mention, I'm sat right next to Richard, and the thought of him being warm and fuzzy is making me nervous.
And in such a confined space as well.
You wouldn't believe how confined this is.
And the fact that Chad touched his fuzzies is a little concerning.
But it kind of goes with everything that everyone says about the community, and it's starting to become that cliche thing of, you know, everyone supporting each other and all the rest of it. But that is exactly what's happening in this little sort of corporation, this corporate thing that we've got. No, not corporate, this cooperative that we've got, in so much as we don't really get anything out of this. Obviously, you guys get a bit of sponsorship within the community, which is never a bad thing. But I mean, you guys are well known, you're well respected, and your products are awesome. So there isn't a huge amount of extra you get from it. You get what you get. But what really is the benefit is to the viewers, the people that actually end up receiving the products. The mugs, the blanks, the grit, and it spreads from there. So we're the podcast helping the community because you guys are helping us help the community, and it's a nice sort of circular thing rather than what you get in the sort of the corporate world, which is I give you money, so you advertise me, so I make more money via the people that listen to you. And It's a very linear sort of thing, whereas we seem to have a much more cooperative arrangement.
Well, it's kind of like the word of mouth thing, in a different case, because I mean, what they're doing is that they're giving us the product to give to people who might not ordinarily go out and buy it for themselves, but we're giving it to them for free, so they get something they've never had before, and they get to go play with it, and they get to find out exactly how good it is, and knock on wood, they spread the word about how good that is, and it becomes a very much a word of mouth kind of promotion for Chad and Pam and also Glyn, because all it does is reinforce the quality of what they do, and I think that's a good thing. I mean, you know, they didn't. I'm sure you guys didn't invest in us with your products in that nature as far as thinking, oh my God, these guys are on fire. We're gonna take over the world, and so we want to be with them, because I mean that obviously hasn't happened, and it's never going to. But it does put it in the hands of people who are influencers, people who do influence the community's ideas about things that are good and things that are not so good. And we would not have accepted Pam's generous donation, or Chad's generous donation, or or Glenn's donation if we weren't dealing with people that were number one, quality, and number two, had something quality to give us to give away. And I think that means a lot. I think it means a lot to the community, and I think it means a lot for word of mouth, if nothing else.
But absolutely bang on, because the one thing that you three guys have all got in common that differs to a lot of the sort of the sponsorship deals that you see in this arena from big companies, you know, like the big brands and the big tool manufacturers and the app game people that you see on the various stores. You are small-ish cottage industry type family businesses. I mean, to my knowledge, you don't have a massive 6 million square feet factory facility.
Not quite.
And you know, Pam isn't employing 300 people in a shed in Inverness somewhere, to my knowledge. The business literally is you and you alone. You do everything from start to finish.
Yeah.
And I mean, personally, for me, that it's nice to be able to support the smaller person, because it means more to support, a smaller thing, because a small contribution to a small operation is a big deal.
I see the community as being like a series of Venn diagrams, because you've got like the vast maker community as a whole, but then there's all the little pockets that cross over. So like people who listen to Makers International podcast, Fools with Tools podcast, who may follow I Like to Make Stuff on YouTube, and it would all just intertwine, like everybody's crossing over and sharing their ideas. But then you have a core audience that really follows one. So when you have people in that community in particular giving things back and doing giveaways and sharing knowledge and sharing inspiration, and then you can go out from that tiny pocket and spread amongst the other groups, I think that's what we really gain from all of this. And I think it's fantastic to see.
I agree with you 100%. And if I could change the focus of our conversation today, I'd like to kind of put the spotlight on the people that we have with us today. And Pam, we haven't heard much from you, so I want to start with you, if you don't mind.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. You're on the hot seat. Pam, I'm holding your product, in at least one of the products that you do make, in my hands. Can you tell us how you go about delivering what you do and what is involved in putting the product out that you currently are doing? Whether, obviously we've already pointed out, you're not doing this as a large multi-corporate business that's selling 600,000 of these things. You're selling them on more of an, I guess, would it be fair to say you're doing it more like kind of on an Etsy level as opposed to doing it as on an Amazon level? Does that comparison work?
Yeah. The only reason I started doing it is because people kept asking me for the blanks. So, I mean, I never started out in any of this making blanks. I just did it, and I love resin anyway. But more and more people are asking, and I get quite a buzz out of making pen blanks. So being able to sell them means I can make more, and it funds what I do, because obviously resin is very expensive, and just everything that I started is just really expensive. So these little bits that I do funds for everything else, and I use YouTube as an advertisement for that, in order. So it's like a bit of a ring, really. I make stuff for the audience. The audience has a demand. I sell that, and that buys the products to make stuff, and it just keeps going like that. I'll never be rich or anything like that, because everything that I sell goes straight back in.
So you found a way to self-fund your own hobby, basically.
Yeah.
So and you know what? For a lot of us, that's all we're ever trying to do. At least as far as I'm concerned, that's if I can sell. And Pam, I'll be honest with you, I may sell one thing a year, but that sale means a lot to me because I can put that money back into my shop. But that's exactly what you're doing. You're doing nothing more than recycling, and people are enjoying what you do because you do quality stuff. I mean, it's because you're making this as if you're making it for yourself, and then you sell it, and it comes back, and people are going, "Wow, that's really nice." I mean, and you're going, "Well, yeah, it's really nice because that's what I want to have too." So, because which is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I try and put the one thing that I've always done, because obviously when I used to sell, and I still sell bandsaw boxes, I sell a lot of stuff locally, but those things you can't send all over the world, small things you can. But yeah, I've always put 110%. I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so I've always put 110% into everything. So, and I always, the customers, even the customers that buy through Etsy, I ask them for feedback. Come back to me, tell me what they think I can improve on, or and there's a couple of people that actually run other businesses that buy from me, so I ask them for feedback all the time, and I think people like them. It makes it a bit more personal selling stuff as well. So I try to have some sort of, some people can come back and ask me questions. I'll go away and do a video, upload it to Etsy, show them how I've overcome a problem. Like some of the woods that turning, you know, for beginners and stuff like that. So it's all about, I try and make things very personal when I'm doing it.
Well, Pam, you're awesome. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. You are absolutely awesome, and you've been a supporter of ours for much longer than you've been a sponsor of ours, and I truly want to say thank you for that, because I mean, we love to see you out in the chat like people are out there today, because you're a funny lady. I don't mind telling you. But Chad, along those same lines, what about you? I mean, how are you looking at this?
Well, I never looked at it as a way of growing or anything like that. I've been very fortunate. I've already had what I consider a metric of success in this community, and it just is a way for me to give back. It's just an outlet for me to give back to people that are already supporting me, whether that's the guys on the podcast or the people that are listening to the podcast.
Makes a lot of sense. Glyn?
For me, it was simply Jamie threatened to release some photographs.
We can edit that out, right? Yeah, that's
I knew it. We've always had an inkling.
No, not really. I developed the product for my own workshop initially, and people like Jamie and Steve Twidell and lots of others. This is really difficult. Hang on, can you hear me still?
Yes.
Yep.
Right, fantastic. The delay is killing me. Sponsoring Makers International just seemed another way to help the community. Hang on a minute.
No, I'm just going to mute this for you, and then because we've got two machines here, and it's really it's all right while Glyn's listening, but when he's trying to talk, you get that reverb in your ear.
Yeah.
That's it.
How's that, mate?
Right, brilliant. Sponsoring Makers International was just progression. It was a way to let other people know about the product, and a way to help the community. Jamie's been really helpful, so has Richard. So it just seemed a way to give back.
That's awesome. That's
we
awesome.
were talking this afternoon, this evening over those steaks are amazing, by the way.
You're welcome.
About how
Thanks
you're an
for
engineer. Originally engineer, weren't you?
Yeah.
So you kind of took your analytical minds to the dust problem in the workshop.
Yeah. The reason the paste came around was I was turning in my own workshop and I ended up getting a problem with vertigo, which was diagnosed to be a problem on my inner ear with fine dust particles. So the doctor told me I got to give up wood turning. That weren't going to happen. So I had to find a way around that. And just the way my mind works, I had to find a way to get rid of the dust. So an abrasive paste seemed the obvious answer, a bit of research, and I came up with the formula. So that's how we ended up with Yorkshire Grit, pretty much.
So, literally, a problem that you had becomes an actual real-life, real-world product.
Yeah, it wasn't designed to be a money-making exercise. It was designed for my own shop. And I sent it out to a few of the YouTubers who were my mentors, in effect. Tom Stratton, Carl Jacobson, Tim Yoder. The list is long, but they all tried it and came back to me and said, "You've got to release this product. It works." So we ended up with Yorkshire Grit, pretty much.
I mean, that's just a fantastic story. That you as a turner have a particular niggle in your workshop, a problem that you need solving. You solve it, and then all of a sudden it takes off. That's kind of, I guess, a little bit further down the line to say where Pam maybe is at the moment, because you sell your product worldwide, don't you now?
I do now, yeah. We're in 7 countries, and I think we've got 16 distributors in the UK now.
So, I mean, so it's available for everyone to buy, just like Chad's mugs are available for everyone to buy, and Pam's blanks are as well. But it all comes out of that very small, very personal.
I guess it's necessity is the mother of invention. It works. It is true.
Yeah, absolutely. But by the kind of the point I sort of tried to make earlier, and you've just really helped me, is as a small company, a small product, however you want to look at it, not only is your support that much bigger, because for a big company, it's a little drop. But you look at the final figures and the percentage, it means a huge amount to you, or from your business, to give to everyone else. Whereas a massive company, it's a nothing. But the reward back is you're helping so many more people.
I guess the difference is I feel my business and what I do is part of the community. We're not so much a big corporate entity just trying to make money from the community. I'm actually a wood turner.
You're part of it as well.
And I'm part of everything we do.
And that's exactly what Chad and Pam were doing in Maker Central, because Chad comes all the way over from the States, same as Chris, but Pam's come all the way down from Inverness. You come down from Scarborough to Maker Central as part of the community. And so you had a stand there, but Chad didn't and Pam didn't, although Pam was on a stand. It's the community helping the community, or part of the community to help the community. It's
all tied together.
It's all this kind of almost this incestuous pot of making, rather than this big corporate thing. And I think that's so much nicer than the other genres of places in there. So it takes a while to get your head around it, I think.
Well, it does, and and I'm only talking for myself personally. I am going to cheer hardly for Pam. I'm going to cheer for Chad. I'm going to cheer for Glyn, because I know that story. But I'm going to cheer for them more than I will DeWalt, Ryobi. I mean, I don't. How do you become a fan of those companies? I mean, I don't know how you become a fan. I really don't have a kind of attachment to them. But these people are easy to form attachments to, and you don't even have to meet them to have that attachment. You can have that attachment just by knowing who they are, what they do, and have that kind of, you know what, I'm going to support this person. And I don't even care if I don't, I don't care if I don't ever want one of Chad's mugs. I don't care if I don't ever want to ever turn a pen from Pam. And I don't care if I never have a lathe, so I don't need Glyn's product. I'm still going to, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to buy one of their products because I support them. It's because I love it. It gives you a reason to cheer for people like that. And I think that, I think that's at the heart a lot of what we do. When it comes down to looking at people that we want to support and what we don't want to support. I mean, because there's times where I have bought things from other makers that I will never use, never wear, but it didn't matter that I didn't want to wear it or use it. What it mattered was they needed the support, and the community was there for them, and I was going to be part of that. That's important. That's important.
Very much like some of our listeners.
Exactly. Well, look at the chat. I mean, right now, they don't care what we're talking about. They're talking about whatever is going on. They could give two flying, but it's they're here to support us. And that's what this whole thing is about. I mean, we support each other.
Yeah, I mean, just like Joe was saying before, Joe, you use Chad's mug every single day. I haven't been using mine recently because I left it at home and I'm currently not at home. And we got 30 miles up the road and I went, I've forgotten it. And that's frustrating. But I use it a lot. Glyn, your Yorkshire Grit, I'll be perfectly honest. Jamie, you opened my pot of Yorkshire Grit, didn't you? You actually broke the pot and opened. Wow.
You opened up my microphone, though.
I did get you back on that, but that was what, a week, 2 weeks ago now, a fortnight.
Yeah, that was a microphone.
Well, no, that was the original pot that you sent out ages ago.
Okay.
Because long story, but my lathe was at another location. Chris, just bear with.
One of his 5
One of
shops.
his many
Yeah, I knew
workshops.
that. I knew that had happened. I brought my lathe over to my big workshop, so Jamie and I could turn, and we brought it with, and we opened it up. And since that lathe has been in my workshop, I've pretty much used the lathe every day, and as a result, I've pretty much used the Yorkshire Grit every day. Every product I've turned since we opened that pot, I've used it on, and I don't use the sandpaper now. On God's honest truth, hand on heart, Pam, I haven't received the blank yet. I suspect I know why that is, but you can see, like the other day, Glyn and I went to Wood Turning Supplies in Snainton. It's amazing, by the way, and they've got some really cool acrylic blanks there.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, they were really cool blanks. But you look at your blanks, Pam, like the pictures that you take, they are amazing as a blank. There's one thing to look cool, but yours look amazing. So just do the math on when you turn it and finish it and become a pen or a bottle stopper or a razor handle or whatever that blank gets used for. The project is going to be just the next level. So we've got awesome people making awesome products, supporting more, well, us and you as the community. What is there not to support? Why would you ever go to some massive corporation and buy something else? But it just is a win for everyone, and that's another reason to say thank you to people like yourself, Glyn. I'll say it to you because you're here next to me, but also Chad and also Pam as well. I mean, that's just
especially when you're dealing with what is essentially a superior product than what you can get from the big manufacturers. I mean, because we're talking about people who put a lot of pride in their work. I mean, Chad, I have seen your mugs. I have held one in my hand. I have never been able to drink out of one, but I have actually seen Chad's work and what he does with powder coating and laser etching. And I'm telling you, it is freaking fantastic. And you cannot walk into, you cannot walk into a Walmart or a big box store and find what Chad does on the freaking shelf. You cannot. It just does not exist. Chad makes something that's very unique. It's quality, and it's let's face it. I mean, it's a great product. So I don't know why people would ever even question that. And I don't know. It blows me away because you guys are awesome. And I wish I had like you were talking about, Glyn, I wish I had developed something in my shop, and within the 50 years that I've been on this earth, I wish that at some point in time I would have developed something that would have helped others and made it a product. But I haven't. And so you have to understand, anytime that somebody does something that I can't or haven't done, there's going to be a lot of admiration, at least coming from me towards you and what you've done. So my hat's off to you guys. I mean, I love you for it. And the fact that you pass it on to us to give away to other people, that's awesome. I don't know how to say it any better than that. I'm serious. That's awesome.
It's also a pretty difficult arena as well that you guys have put yourselves in, because you could make a product. Let's say you make a really nice bar of chocolate, just for thinking something up. People will like chocolate and they'll buy chocolate.
Yeah.
But they're not the sort of people who would be able to make their own bar of chocolate. Yeah. You all three of you have products that mean a lot, because you guys have got more riding on your product than most people who make products. Because Chad, if I come to you and say, here's my logo, I want you to put that on that mug in that color, here's what it costs me, and I'll sit back and wait for the postman to arrive. Not only are you making that mug, but it's you that it rests on. It's not a company where a guy goes, right, this is the picture, yeah, we'll put that in, that will do, send it out. You look at that and you think, this is going to end up with the person who's paying me to do it. So if it turns up and it's not 100%, that's not acceptable. Anything less than perfect is unacceptable. You've got more riding on, first off. but also you guys have got products in an arena that is for people who make stuff. So the people that are actually buying your product are going to look at it and go, and we've all done it, let's be honest, we've all done it, we've all gone, I know how they make that. If I had the stuff, I could do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure.
You've got the toughest kind of audience, the biggest amount of pressure, and you're knocking out the perfect product. But because of that, it all feeds in, because you've got to make it perfect. So it becomes more perfect than another product made by some big conglomerate that's just churning it out by the lorry load, because the guy on the factory floor.
I think that's why all three of us do what we do.
Exactly.
It's not a corporate entity. I mean, we all wear his hearts on our sleeves. We're all on social media. So if anybody has a problem with any of our products, they're onto us on Facebook straight away. And the way I deal with it, I deal with it publicly. So we have a Facebook group called Grit and Sheen. So that's for Martin Hampshire Sheen products and also Yorkshire Grit. So if somebody's got a problem, they post the problem publicly. I answer it publicly.
And it's sorted.
And to be fair now, we're getting such a positive feedback from the product. I actually have to get in fairly quick to get an answer back. If somebody posts a problem up, one of the other users of Yorkshire Grit has generally got the answer there before I can get to it, which I'm really grateful for.
Because you've developed a community of people that all use that product and they all help each other out.
Like I say, I wear my heart on my sleeve. So if anybody has a problem with my product, they can post it publicly and I'll answer it publicly. Yeah. I have nothing to hide. So if there's an issue, I'll address it. I'll change the production procedure or the formula if it needs it. But we seem to be at a point now where the product's working okay and self-perpetuating. So
if you're listening, go and support these people, because they're awesome at the end of the day. They're nice people. They do awesome stuff. What more can you say?
And Pam, I'm sorry, you said something I didn't hear you, hon.
It's a brilliant product. I mean, I actually have tested, and with the microfine, Glyn, it's just gone up a step, because I've been testing it on jewellery and using it by hand, and it's amazing stuff. I'm not getting anything else that's even coming close to doing what your stuff does. And Chad, I haven't got one of your mugs, but I did buy the one from Maker Central.
Nice.
Well done, but I ain't got one yet.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Do you guys have any plans to kind of maybe expand or do a continuant for your line that it currently is, or are you happy with what you do and let's keep what we've got absolutely perfect? Or do you have ideas? I mean, you don't have to, if you do, you don't have to say what it is, but whether a yes or a no or we'll keep it perfect is.
Yeah, I mean, we're dealing with the business world here, so I mean, with what you can. I mean, if I think the question, Richard, that you asked was perfect. I mean, do you guys have a plan to expand your current endeavors, or are you happy with what you currently have?
Yeah, well, I have plans to expand. Yeah, over the next couple of years, I have quite big plans. So if they pan out, and if they don't, they don't. It's not. I mean, I have a full-time job. I think I might have been able to cut my hours a little bit, but yeah, so I don't have to rely on anything that I do. And if it all fell away tomorrow, it wouldn't matter, because I don't rely on it to live. So I suppose that's different with me, but yeah, I have plans to expand.
But that's a great position to be in, Pam, because you know what, you can take your shot and it won't cost you anything.
Absolutely. Yeah.
There you go.
No risk to take.
What about you, Chad? Do you, because I know you have another job, and I don't. What about you? Do you plan on doing this beyond what you're doing right now?
That's a great question. I would like to do making things full time. It's it's a tough thing because the company that I work for, I also own. So I built that since 1993, and it's kind of hard to imagine not being a part of that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a daily struggle for me. I don't enjoy it like I did back in, say, even 95 or 96, even 2006. So I am looking at a way of transitioning out of that, possibly selling off my portion of the company. But at this point, it's going to just kind of be as is. I'll do it in my spare time at night until I free up some more time. And I'm trying to work on that right now.
So you're still looking for an avenue to expand, is where you were at. You're saying if I can expand this and make it viable, then you would make the leap. But until that happens, you're solid.
Yeah, and it's not necessarily just cups. I do a lot of other things. So
no, I know you do. Awesome. What about you, Glyn?
For me, it's now full time Yorkshire Grit. We're just coming up on, within the next 2 or 3 weeks, we'll have sold us 10,000th tin of Yorkshire Grit. So we're doing okay. It's now full time, like I said. Neither of us have any other jobs now. All we do is dutifully stand there stirring Yorkshire Grit and potting it up. So expansion. I'm kind of letting the thing do its own thing. I'm just riding on the back of it. As we sell more, I'm in no mad hurry to take over the world. I'm a turner first. The product came second, and it's financing the turning and making us a nice living. So I'll just go with the flow, really, I think.
I do have a complaint about that product, though. It tastes nothing like Yorkshire pudding. A little bit of false advertising.
It's nothing like Yorkshire pudding.
Shouldn't call it Yorkshire.
I will quite happily stand, and even if you guys, the worst happens tomorrow, which God forbid it did, but if for whatever reason we stopped doing the podcast, and the sponsorship side faded away because we didn't want to do the podcast anymore, let's say, I would still happily stand on a pedestal and scream to anyone who'd listen, Yorkshire Grit is for me now the way forward. Once I get to 240 grit sanding, that's it, grit all the way to the end, and that's good to know. It saves me money. It saves. It's healthier. Chad, I'll probably be doing that whilst drinking a big, nice, hot, steaming mug of tea from your mug,
while staring at one of Pam's blanks.
Using Pam's. See, Pam's a bit of a weird one because.
Yeah,
I've only recently, and this is Jamie's fault, got back into turning. My lathe was away, now it's back. It's kind of come back into the fold, and I'm now more and more excited. So I'm really looking forward to getting my hands on the blank. But what am I going to do with it? And I know it's going to be amazing. But the problem I think I'm going to have I think it's going to be too amazing for me to actually have the bottle to turn it, because I'll just think I'll mess it up. So that is what I'm going to have to overcome first and foremost.
You know what, Richard? I've been there. And I tell you what, and it's funny you mentioned that, because I have been there as a turner, and a very poor turner to begin with. Okay, I mean, I was not good, and when I used the most expensive wood that I had, because I had to make something for a friend of mine. There was a wedding coming up. I had to make it, and I had to make it out of a quality wood. I was scared to actually put that on the lathe and turn it, because I was afraid I was going to mess it up. And trust me, it took me a very long time to turn that piece, but I managed to get it done. But it was not the most comfortable feeling in the world. Let's just put it that way. I was apprehension would probably be an understatement, but that's the best way I can form that. Is that you kind of get apprehensive about using a material that you feel is a higher quality than your level of skill.
Yeah, I was exactly the same. I mean, Chad will tell you with the Heath Knuckles blank.
Yeah. Exactly the
No,
same.
I had.
I'll never turn it, I don't think. I'll just keep it as it.
I mean, I saw the blanks that you'd done at and at Make a Send. I feed. I think people that have got an alert. So when you post, it actually physically sends me an alert rather than me just relying to go through the feed. The blanks that you're picturing on Instagram, coupled with what I've seen in the flesh, I would wholeheartedly endorse your blanks, your Yorkshire Grit, Glyn, and your mugs, Chad, to anyone. If you're out there and you're thinking, do I, don't I, then do. It's as simple as that as far as I personally am concerned. And I'm convinced.
I don't know where you can actually see that, but you can actually see the numbers on this cup from the laser,
which is amazing. It's the detail that Chad is able to put on those friggin' mugs that is just, it's friggin' awesome. And guys, I wish we could carry on with this, but I mean, I hate to be the time caster here, but we've got about 6 minutes left. So if you guys want to wrap up by letting the audience know anything about you guys, about what you do and how you do it and where you can be found, and what, if somebody wants to, check out what Chad does, Pam does, or Glyn, I mean, now's your time. So, I mean, Chad, go ahead. Where can people find you? And we've also got to talk about it because we have a giveaway to do too. So, you know what? Before Chad, Pam, Glyn, think about what you want to say. Jamie, we've got a giveaway. What do you want to do?
Yeah. Well, before I do that, obviously I can't let this can't go with the whole show without mentioning Steve Nealon, who obviously supports our website.
Absolutely, Steve. Thank you.
So yeah, got to mention Steve Nealon at Harnell Media. So yeah, got to give thanks to him because he obviously supports the website and he helps me out a hell of a lot, bringing you the website and updating that every week. So yeah,
community as well.
Yeah, he helps out a lot of makers in the community with websites. So anyway, on to the giveaway. We have a rather large giveaway coming this week. It's going to run until August 25th. So it runs the whole month of August. It is live now over on the website. So if you go to makersinternationalpodcast.com, go to the tab Challenges and Contest, and there's a drop-down menu saying Huge Giveaway. It will take you to a Glee map. You click all your bits and bobs, and you are entered in there. There's many ways to enter. You just click all the ones that you want, and that's how you enter. You have to subscribe to people and visit their websites and click their Instagrams, and each one's an entry to the giveaway. So I'll quickly post that into the live chat now, and I'll also post it over onto the Facebook page as well. But what we're actually giving away is we are giving away a tub of Yorkshire Grit, a tub of Yorkshire Grit microphone, a Yorkshire Grit hat, a Yorkshire Grit hat the white microphone hat.
The two hats.
Yeah, the two hats. And the two different Yorkshire Grits. That's from Glyn.
These are the hats. These are the hats.
These are hats. These are hats. To me, to you. And from Chad, we've got a Makers International podcast / ManCrafting tumbler. And obviously some awesome custom blanks from Pam at Highland Boxes.
Put Pam on the screen. Just
Okay.
share something for the viewers, Pam.
Blanks.
Is that the aluminium honeycomb?
It is, yeah. One's got oak burr and aluminium honeycomb with I can't remember the name of the red now. And the other one's blue with honeycomb.
them amazing.
Very
Really.
nice.
Rule.
Okay. Yeah. That runs until August 25th, and it ends midnight UK time.
So basically, all people have to do is go to our website, click on
Yep.
the contests, competition / giveaway.
Yeah,
related
go to the website, go to challenges and contests, go to the drop down menu that says huge giveaway, and it will take them to a Glee map.
And then they do all the
there you
things that the Gleam says, and then they're in for the giveaways.
Yeah, that's basically it.
Wicked.
All
Can
right.
we enter that, please?
No.
We're not. Oh, okay.
Can I enter? I want some of Pam's blanks. I've got Heath Knuckles stuff, and it's all right, but I want some of Pam's.
Oh, you're good.
Well, Heath Knuckles, they're all right.
Yeah.
But,
Oh, I so hope he doesn't watch this.
He's in the chat.
bless him.
Oh, is he? Oh dear. Yeah, but that's it for the giveaway. I'm going to post it over on Facebook now.
Excellent.
So-
Just while you're doing that, all the posty social media thing for people to click on, Jamie. Where can you guys all be? Where can people find you guys on the internets and the social medias and whatnot? So
For me, Yorkshire-Grit.com, and we have distributors all over the world now, as well as a lot in the UK. And we also have a Facebook group called Grit and Sheen, which is a closed group, but if you apply to join, as long as you've got something to do with wood turning or an interest, you'll get approved, and it's a customer support group. So
Awesome.
you get answers and information and supplier information from there.
wicked. Pam and Chad?
You want to go, Chad?
Go ahead.
Highland Boxes for YouTube, Highland Boxes for Facebook, and Highland Boxes, I think it's _ for Instagram.
What about your Etsy, Pam? What's your Etsy store?
That's Highland Boxes as well.
Awesome.
Even I could work that and remember all those. That's good. That's good marketing there, Pam. Well done.
You
Chad?
can find me pretty much everywhere, just as ManCrafting.
You sure it's
Twitter.
not ManCrafting?
Yes, and make sure you spell it with an A, MAN, not MIN.
What do people call it? ManCrafting?
No, like Minecrafting. I don't know.
Okay.
Put your easel away now. That's a disgusting image you're painting there. Awesome, and obviously, yeah, we've got links from our website to you guys as well under /sponsors on the Makers International website as well, which is obviously run by Steve. Is Steve Nealon's information part of that page as well on our website?
I don't know if. Actually, I don't know. I'll have to check that out. If it's not, it definitely will be tonight.
You see, the only reason I ask is
If it's not, it's Steve's fault.
Well, I was going to say, Jamie.
I'm sure it was. I'm sure it was.
I'm sure it is. And Steve, we cannot thank you enough. Steve, we invited Steve to come on with us tonight, but Steve was a little camera shy and he didn't want to come on. That's fine. But Steve, in case you don't know, it is the gentleman who provides us with our website free of charge. So Steve, you belonged here tonight, but if you didn't want to come on, we understand why. And thank you very much.
Yeah.
I'm sure you won't mind me saying, but doesn't Steve have a Makers Media Makers website group as well on Facebook?
Makers Media Network, yeah.
Makers Media Network, that's it. I knew it was something along those. I'm rubbish at all those social media things. That's why I just talk off in random directions and hope to actually get to the point at some point.
Yeah,
Wicked.
where I'll get a link and we'll put that in the description or something.
Fantastic. Right, I'm pretty much out of time. Joe's going to be staring at me and tapping at his watch. Do you guys have? I don't have a shout out myself personally. I'll fess up to that straight away. But do you guys have time to do shout outs? Do you even have shout outs this week?
Well, we do, but we don't. We've kind of run out of time. It's like I'm looking at this. If you don't want to make this an hour and a half long, then we might want to just wrap this up.
That's absolutely fine. I mean, we're going to be chatting probably to the wee small hours anyway, so makes no odds to me. But yeah, but just for Joe's sake, I guess. Honestly, Pam, Chad, Glyn, and Steve as well, although obviously Steve's not here. From me personally, but also from everyone as part of the podcast, thanks for supporting us. Thanks for supporting the community with what you do and the way you do it and the way that it kind of works as a big symbiotic relationship. But don't forget, if you are listening, even if you're not winning the giveaways that are happening on regular occasions, by supporting Pam and Chad and Glyn, if their products are in line with what you do with your making, then do certainly consider them, because their products are awesome. They're really nice people and they support the community as a whole. And, you know, you're supporting them, support us, support you, supporting everyone. That's quite a complicated thing, but it's awesome. I'm pretty sure of that. Guys, thanks for coming on. I'm guessing,
Thanks a lot for inviting me.
You know, this is not necessarily something that you do all the time.
No. No. This is definition of nervousness.
Well, that's why we had a couple of babies beforehand. So
Yeah.
I'm sure Joe can do wonders with the editing anyway. So that's
Good.
That's fine.
All on
But
now.
honestly, guys, thanks for supporting us, supporting everyone else, and coming on tonight. It's always amusing, but it's genuinely been fun tonight. If you are still listening, thank you for listening. If you're not, then we'll say what we like about you. I've no idea what's going to happen tomorrow, let alone for next week's episode, so we'll probably cobble something together. I've got nothing left to say, so I will say cheerio, and we'll see you next week. So you take care.
Have a great week, everybody.
See you next week, guys.
Take it easy, everyone.